We are now just days away from the official release trailer for the new updates on Blox Fruits, and this is really exciting. I gotta say, this little teaser trailer, although it's short, it does have some good content in there, and I want to go through, pick it apart a little bit. There are some things that I noticed that other people may not have actually talked about in their videos, so you don't want to go anywhere, not only with this video, but also I'm going to break down some of the other articles about updates that were mentioned in the past, and there's some interesting things that I've found. I have not made a previous video talking about those things, so I think this is going to be a good, packed video. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below, and let's go ahead and get straight into it. So first up here, we've got a 20-second little video. Okay, so first off, cinematically looks incredible. Now let's go ahead and break it down just a tad bit, shall we? So first thing is that you see this character here. He is meditating what looks to be in the upper Skylands. This is in the first sea. So he's just doing his own thing, just being relaxed, but something doesn't seem right. And then you've got this guy right here who clearly looks like a villain type character, and he is summoning this big cloud, shooting down lightning. And this would very, very, very likely be in reference to the rumble fruit, whereas the guy that's in red would be with the pain fruit. I love the cinematics on this. So as he's attacking down here, you guys can actually see that the guy in red is jumping down to go ahead and confront him. But let's go and back it up just a tad bit. So when he summons his cloud, you can see that the bolt of lightning that comes down is actually striking what appears to be the jungle part of the first sea. But you guys notice that there are some things there that are not normally there. You have these umbrellas. There's also some player models that are just standing around a tad bit. And also, if we can get the framing of this just right, I did notice, yeah, right about there. I think this is a good frame to pause on. You can see that over in the upper right-hand corner, there appears to be somebody that's fishing. So what this would suggest to me is that if you're fishing, there might be areas where you could have players still attack. And I'm a little bit concerned about this because if you're just trying to relax and somebody all of a sudden goes and kills you, especially if you're in the middle of your fishing animation and maybe you're about to catch some really great fish, it would absolutely be a horrible situation to be in, right? But we'll have to see how this plays out. You're also going to notice that there's this red ribbon on the far left. There's a yellow ribbon right there. Those appear to be part of the trees, which you're going to see in another minute. But then you've got all these umbrellas, a place where you could chill out, relax, and then look, there's all these presents. What's up with the presents? Does that mean that we're also going to be getting free fruits? Are these going to be extra bonuses? Are they part of the role-based system? I don't know, but you can see that there are clearly these presents that are hanging around everywhere, and that could be potentially about the 50 billion visits. And there also appears to be a chest, so you might be able to just walk around and pick up some extra gold in the area. So yeah, he drops down his lightning attack. The guy in red does jump on down, coming to fight this guy, and you see the big confrontation. So right at this point here is where you can actually see that those ribbons I was talking about, look at it, they're on these trees specifically. So again, I think that this is part of the jungle island, the main island. But then when we go to the next several frames over, here we have the NPC boss, Gorilla King, I think is his name, if I remember correctly. And it's been so long since I grinded over in the first tee, but I believe this is Gorilla King. And you guys can see that there's no ribbons on these trees. So even though this is right next to that main part of the jungle island, there is nothing that's happening here. And I think this is also important to showcase the Gorilla King because it has to do with one of the previous articles, and that is with the event itself. So then here you can see what looks to be one of the umbrellas flying up. You can see an umbrella, several umbrellas actually down in the bottom there. And then on the far left-hand side, there's this weird circle thing that's got some cracks in it. And I'm really curious, what exactly is that? That almost gives off a vibe like a magma, but a different colored skin or something. I wonder what that is. Yeah, and then we actually move it just a few frames over. You can clearly see that once the color dissipates, that does have cracks, like as if it's related to magma. So what exactly is that, and why is it circular? I think that's a really good question. I want to know what you guys think about that. These two clashes up in the sky, the two circles, it looks absolutely epic, super cool. You can even see in this frame what appears to be a potion. There's a green vial right there. And yeah, just moving forward a little bit, the NPCs look really cool. And the ground's getting broken up a little bit there as they're fighting. Over in that frame, you guys can see what looks to be like a little bridge. So I still think that this is all... Yeah, that's kind of like the center area, right? That's the area that's over across where that little pond type thing is. And you can go downstairs. And as they're fighting right here, you see this big epic clash. The guy has the bandage over his eye, which really largely suggests that this is tied to the pain fruit. And then you got the other guy with this electric dragon type thing, which is very much signifying that of Rumble. But what are you guys missing in this? What are we missing here? Do you guys notice? It should be fairly obvious to you if it hasn't already happened yet. I'll give you guys like 2 more seconds to try and think of what it is. Okay, where's the third one? Remember, we saw that there were going to be 3 fruits, right? So there's 2 characters here. What about the third character, the one that had been teased about for a while that a lot of people are speculating has to do with the bomb fruit? So I don't know if in the official trailer that's going to drop in a few days, if they will also introduce that character, or if it's simply one that's going to come down a little bit later and it's going to be part of this several week rollout. I think that there's a strong chance that that's what we're going to end up seeing. But yeah, absolutely super epic, super cool. Full trailer is coming out on August 14th. So we're just days away from that. And the update release date will be inside of that trailer. Now, the Blox Fruit official Twitter account, they did have a few things to say on their account here. They said, this week, we're rolling out a pre-update patch, not new content, to boost performance and rebalance the game. We know many have struggled to run Blox Fruit smoothly since the Dragon update, and we're fixing that before the Lightning update drops. On the subject of balancing, we've been studying the data on everyone's builds, skill usage, and win rates. This patch will bring needed adjustments, followed by weekly tuning based on your feedback to keep things fair, fun, and competitive. So translation, guys, if you've been trying to do PvP, but you really feel that it's imbalanced, especially with people that are using certain fruits like Portal, if they're using Dragon, if they're using perhaps Yeti or Kitsune, something like that. It looks like they're trying to make adjustments so that it has a more structured, balanced system. Our Valentine's Experience Friend bonus is also making a return to help more players reach C3 before the new island arrives. If you're not there yet, this should help you grind. So I'm really curious about that, and if it's going to roll over to people that are already in the 2nd C or the 3rd C. I actually did not play this during the Valentine's period. I did a little bit of research, and I found that there was an item you could get that does help you with getting experience faster. And if that's an item that you can acquire, then realistically, that should also impact people in the 2nd to the 3rd C. Okay, so why would people in the 3rd C want to use that? Because with the new update that rolls out, we're looking at having a new island, which also means that there should be some new NPCs, and that also means that you have a level cap increase. Right now it's at 2650, 2,650. Personally, I'm thinking that we're probably going to see it be bumped up to 2,750. And why do I think that? Because I think that there's a good chance we're going to have 2 different regular sets of NPCs, and then one that will be considered just like a general boss on the island. I think that that's a strong possibility. So either we're going to have this be bumped up to from 2650. Oh wait, sorry, that would be 2,700 would be another 50 levels. 2,750 would be the 2nd set. So another 50 levels would be 2,800. I think there's a possibility of it going to 2,800. Or they might just not have that extra boss. It could be some sort of event boss, and they just keep it at 2,700. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments down below. With Tiki being the latest island that was, or the last island, I should say, that you actually grind on in the 3rd C, it does not have its own main central boss. It just has different NPCs that are scattered around through it. So I think that having another island that has kind of a central NPC boss that spawns from time to time, I think it would make sense. We see the comments, our communication needs to improve with the trailer release date now locked in, which will also reveal the update. date, expect more transparency from here on. You'll know what's coming and when. For the expansion, we have content lined up for multiple weeks in a row. The lightning fruit is shaping up to be one of the most exciting PvP fruits yet, while fishing will offer something for everyone. Stay tuned and be sure to catch this week's trailer. So very cool, very exciting times. Okay, so here's the image of the new island. Now, I've heard people that are trying to speculate whether this is actually the undersea island that you go to with the submarine or not. Well, okay, I found this image by going to the official Blox Fruits Twitter page. Guys, I think this should be a pretty straightforward answer for you. It says right here, deep beneath the ocean lies a long-lost civilization. Okay, so this is supposed to be under the ocean, which would mean that you would use a submarine to get to it. And some people trying to make this comparison to Tiki with it. I want to make a comparison to the underwater sea. So you guys can actually see in this image, there are these two sort of transparent blue tubes on the right side of that city. And where have we seen that before? Right here. This is over in the first sea, the underwater city. You can see those blue sort of rainbow shaped image icons, not icons, but structures, I should say. You can see that there are several of those. Just going back here again, you guys can see it on the right hand side there, and boom, you see it also here. So I think it does make sense. This is an image of Tiki. Tiki, I don't see those structure formations at all. And if you want to actually access the underwater city, it's been talked about before, you go to the submarine, which you would find at Tiki. So this would make a lot of sense. You go and talk to the submarine worker, and you would then go ahead and hop on down right here to this underwater city over in the third sea. So that's pretty cool. Okay, let's go ahead and run through a few of these other things for you guys, because again, there's a lot of stuff that I noticed that I did not talk about in previous videos, and I want to know what you guys think about all this. So check out this fishing video that's from Uzoth. This is a new mechanic that's going to be coming to the game. Okay, so first thing that I want to point out to you guys is that you can see that there's another NPC. Well, actually, it's a player, I would say, because you can see just barely that there's a red name that appears over that character. So there is somebody that's fishing over on the other side, and they're standing close to the edge. You can see there's a little bit of an animation as they're trying to reel it in. There's this exclamation point for Uzoth that shows up when there's a line that has been caught, and it didn't take very long. Then we get this nice little animation here. It's a mini game, and you're just trying to keep that fish within inside that green box. You've got the loading bar on the bottom that shows you how much time is left. And then once it's actually finished, you go ahead and pull out the fish. You can visually see the fish in your hand. And then I do believe that that gets added to your inventory, and they're going to have different weight systems. And so you'd be able to go to like a pond. This isn't out in the ocean, right? Having this over near the Dragon Dojo, you could be able to fish here, which is great. And even looked here, let's go ahead and go back just a tad bit. You can see that that character across on the pond looks like they're picking up something really fast too. The water starts splashing a bit when something starts to get caught. So you saw it sort of pop right there, and then there's a bit of a struggle that's going on as you're reeling them in. And then we saw a little blue icon of a fish here, but the actual fish that was pulled out of the water was a different color. So I think it's safe to assume that whatever you see in this animation here is not trying to indicate to you what fish you're about to catch. It's going to be a surprise, more than likely. We would see different types of fish that you could get. So it sort of incentivizes you to continue fishing the area because you don't know exactly what fish you'll get. You know that you have a few options. I would assume that that's the system that they're going to use, but I could be wrong. So this is called the dragon koi fish that he brought out. And that looks really cool. And then we also see that he had shared this post. And there's speculation that maybe this dinosaur has something else to do with it, but you guys can see fishing, and then all of a sudden a dinosaur shows up. I don't think you should read into this image too much, because you got to think about who posted it. It wasn't posted by Uzoth himself. It was posted by some other account over on Twitter. And when I looked at their other posts, they post random things. To say that they posted something specifically targeting the Blocks Fruits community, it just doesn't make sense to me. I think it's just supposed to be like a funny meme type thing. So yeah, imagine you're fishing, then all of a sudden this big dragon shows up. Okay, and then up next here, this would be in reference to the rumble fruit. Looks really cool. You guys can see that down in the bottom, it's got the basic icons. It's got your aura. You guys see all of it, right? Flash step, all that stuff. Okay, and then over here, when we take a look at the different bulletins, we've got quite a few different bulletins to examine. This first one here, the big poster looking thing, let's go and talk about this. So here looks to be that there's this big boss that you're going to have to fight somewhere. And it gives off a vibe like it's a ocean type boss. It's got these multiple sets of eyes. Almost looks like maybe tentacles that are coming off to the sides of its head and its arms and things like that. I think it's more of a ghostly type of look, but those things that are going across its body, you can see in the area where it looks like eyes up on the face, but then it also has it over in the bottom there. So I don't know exactly what's going on there, but you can see bubbles as well, which would suggest it's underwater. You can see what kind of looks like, what is that, coral reef type things on the left and right, the purple and the red there. So again, suggesting underwater. Then in the middle, you have your kind of main character, Blocks Fruits has been suggesting. To the right of that would suggest the water kung fu, as we have been hearing that there's going to be updates with that. And then to the far right of that is this mysterious character that we've seen hinting at the idea of a bomb rework. And then to the left is going to be this guy that is essentially helping take you in the submarine to the locations. And then on the very far left is a mysterious figure that's going off fishing. So these are the big elements coming in. And guys, this gives off to me a big vibe of Dragon Ball Z. I know this game was essentially stemmed off of One Piece, but of course it's evolved over time. And just look at this giant energy blast, almost like a spirit bomb, and that character raising their hands up in the air. I mean, look, it even has that little nice color circle section that looks like a spirit bomb, or more like a death ball, kind of a fusion between a spirit bomb and a death ball. Goku and Frieza. And so we've got our character down in the bottom right hand here, our hero, and he's activating what looks to be the pain fruit. So similar to that trailer that we saw in the beginning. And then scrolling on down here, you guys can see these apes. Well, where do you find the apes? You find them in the jungle of the first sea. And just think about it this way. If it's a special event and you want everyone to be able to participate, you can't have NPCs that are too strong for people that are in the first or the second sea. You can't make everything about endgame stuff. So congratulations if you guys have made it past the jungle area, or even to the jungle area. It would take you probably less than 20-30 minutes if you started off the game to be able to get to this island. And sure enough, these little monkeys right here, they're getting zapped with the electricity. It probably makes them a little bit harder to defeat, but the more that you defeat, then probably more points that you get. So it says here, don't bring an umbrella because there's lightning overhead. Well, what do we see in that trailer? We saw those umbrellas, right, guys? So let's go ahead and go back over here. Roaming clouds have started creeping across the skies. Without warning, these thunderous clouds unleash fierce lightning strikes on enemies below, supercharging them with a glowing pulse of electricity. Defeat these charged foes before the storm fades, and you'll earn a special summer token usable at the all-new Summer Gacha. So to me, this seems similar to the pirate raid that happens in the third sea. You get this notification, says that pirates are raiding the castle, and you got just a little bit of time to try and get over there, and then once it actually ends up happening, you go ahead and start killing the NPCs. If you get even one NPC, you get some sort of a reward. I don't know if they're going to do the exact same thing here, but I would assume that the more of these that you kill, the more of those tokens that you would get. And that happens every hour. I would assume that this is also going to happen every hour. But for people that are in the second, third sea, you're probably going to be able to kill these guys really, really fast. This will be an in-game event that will be rotated out before the next Summer Gacha wheel is updated, so please plan accordingly. It says the next Summer Gacha wheel is updated. And so here's the Summer Gacha on the right-hand side, kicking it to you live with my latest plan to help you your trash luck, the Summer Gacha event. Right? So again, this says the all-new Summer Gacha, the next Summer Gacha wheel is updated. The Summer Gacha event. Hand over those summer tokens for a free spin at my wheel. The top prize, the cleanest limited time fruit skins. you could ever lay your eyes upon. Once rolled, you'll get an option to claim the skin permanently. We'll be starting with the lightning fruit first in the summer gacha. As for what's next, past bulletins may give you a few hints. Okay, so guys, I just want to stress this to you. Thinking about this lasting all the way until summer of next year, I don't think that's what it's meaning. I just think that it means that for that spin wheel, up first is going to be for the lightning fruit. And then after a little bit of time, they're going to replace that out with one of the other fruits, probably pain. Maybe we see it for bomb, and possibly we see it for some of the other fruits. And give you some nice little extra surprises. But this event itself is probably going to last for a while. It's just what rewards do you get? And this will help incentivize people that are in the second and the third Cs to come back to the first C, to kind of mix things up a little bit. They're also working on balancing out the battling. We kind of talked about that a little bit, I believe. And yeah, just take a look at some of these other bulletins really fast, because I know this video is already getting really long. I get it. Take a look here. You see this is similar to that trailer we just saw, right? Miracle Waves. We've got menu items right here. Lots of stuff to look forward to, guys. Just quickly go through some of these other ones. Again, that's clearly the rocket fruit. This was back on July 11th. So why would they post the rocket fruit if they're not going to do anything with it? Strange storms stir across the seas. And then right here, this island, I believe this is kind of looks a little bit like the magma island in the first sea. Oh no, sorry, right here. Earlier this week, a few fishermen near Hydra Island, which is in the third sea, saw something off. The skies were clear one moment, and in the next, a ginormous bolt of electricity tore across the sky. In nearby towns, static shocks surged through the air. Entire crowds reported their hair standing up on its own. Furthermore, an eerie growing hum could be heard from the skies, as if another strike would appear at any moment. No one's sure what's behind the sudden atmospheric shifts, but this isn't your average weather pattern. Something is charging up, and it's only just begun. So this does make me wonder if we could see events that are also going to take place in the second and the third sea. So this is a huge achievement. 50 billion visits. 50 billion. Absolutely insane. 50 billion. Players will infiltrate the Red Army's stronghold, earning Oni medallions through special events. Soon after, your attention must be turned to the Rip family's domain, where celestial fragments await to be discovered for those who challenge Indra's forces. And so again, guys, this to me suggests that we could end up seeing events that are happening in the second and the third sea. So right here, kickoff for these updates will include a major fruit rework. So we're looking at the lightning fruit being first, ideally, and probably pain. New level cap. So that means new enemies being introduced. Third Sea Island, that underwater city, the fishing system, inventory rework, the summer event, and other things. And that's all in the first update. So again, we've got a trailer coming out. They showed us a little teaser here. It's only 20 seconds, but we've got a lot of stuff that looks like it could be coming out very soon. All right, and then just quickly running through these other ones here. You guys can see on this post that there's 3 fruits. We have confirmed Rumble and Pain. The third fruit, question, what is it? Is it going to be? Is it going to be bomb? Could it be rubber? Probably not. Probably bomb. But why would they take all this time to just reveal the bomb fruit when it's a lower tiered thing? Well, my theory is that it might be because they're going to update its capabilities. They may not even call it the bomb fruit anymore. You guys need to understand that. If they're reworking the mechanics of it, it could potentially go all the way up to being a mythical type fruit. And then anyone that happens to have one right now, congratulations, you're just really lucky. One man's trash is another man's treasure. So then just taking a look at this little video here, you guys can also see some updates that we'll have in the future with the creation fruit. So this has to do with making a nice car, being able to vroom, 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 drive around with that. And look at that. You can even literally drive up the tree, which is, it's crazy. It looks like it's got a little booster going on. And And yeah, it handles it really well. If it's able to get just a little bit of traction even, it seems like it can hold on. And then it ends up falling all the way back down there to the bottom and kind of bounces around. So a little fun, silly thing. And then you get the potions as well. So this potion right here, you guys can see that this was during a raid. At first, I thought I stumbled across something nobody was talking about, which is you see the time left up in the middle of the top there is about 10 minutes. 10 minutes there, 9:59, 9:58. I know it's really blurry, but it's not because they drank the potion, guys. It's because of the fact that they were in a raid. However, what you do actually see, I literally just noticed this. Look at the energy on the bottom left-hand side. Right next to that, after they drink this potion, there's an icon that shows up on the right. So they go ahead and use that, using potion. Boom, there you go. You got 1 minute. So there is officially a timer, and it appears that when you drink it, you have 1 minute of the perk benefits. I don't know if that's going to be the same for every single potion that you drink, but in this case, you have 1 minute that you get to enjoy the rewards. I would also like to know exactly how it is that you're going to be able to get these things. Are you going to have to go and collect a bunch more berries? Because let's be real, guys, it's not fun server hopping, going through all the bushes trying to find the berries when you've got all these auras to go. The berry system really needs to be reworked. I think realistically, it'd be nice if you could just go to the store. You have an NPC you talk to, and you could just spend your belly. Because I'm at end game right now. I've maxed out everything in this game, and I'm just making more and more belly. I don't really have anything to spend it on. So it would make sense to incentivize spending the belly more. Okay, and then you guys can also see here the inventory system is going to be reworked. A little bit of a preview there. And then we've also got this preview image. So the chief of the Tiki Post, that image I was showing you guys earlier, this guy that kind of looks like a Master Roshi. Let's see if we find him right here. Yeah, it kind of looks like a Master Roshi, a Dr. Robotnik type of character. I'd say a little bit more, yeah, definitely more like Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z. And then you guys can see the 4 characters, NPCs, that are off on the side there, almost like you're walking up to them. And the chief of the Tiki Outpost, he looks shocked. He sees something that doesn't seem right. The character on the left there that has the sword on his back, he looks really serious. The other person's about to go fishing. You guys can see the submarine there on the right, and they are on a pier. So clearly, the underwater city has a pier. Anyone that's trying to say that this doesn't make sense that it's underwater, what are you talking about? There's a pier there. It was in the other image, and it says deep beneath the ocean in the text. It just doesn't make any sense. And yeah, so you guys got different fish, potions that you can work with. The creation fruit getting a rework. There's a lot of stuff that's coming. I didn't talk about all this stuff, so this is going to be a really long video for sure. But we're almost done, guys. And then seeing these 2 different characters right here, I'm curious what kind of crazy new fruit that we might get. Are we going to get a celestial fruit? I think it's possible. And yeah, guys, so that's basically it. You're also looking at having a change system where the different items that you're wearing cosmetically, it should look different. I don't think that's going to happen in the very first update, but one of the future updates being rolled out. And this booklet that might also show you just the evolution of how the stats have changed, the perk benefits of the different fruits. You can learn more about how things have adjusted. I think it's good to keep records of all of that. And that's pretty much it, all right? So some of the items are going to look a little bit different moving forward. Let me know what you guys think about all this down in the comments below. I know this was a really long video, but I wanted to go in depth into it as I did not cover things in the past. If you're new to the channel and you do like my thoughts on all this, and you're curious to see what else I'm going to come up with, especially since I have everything maxed out, it's going to create really nice opportunities that a lot of other people don't have access to. So do you want to know what all the stat benefits are of the swords or the guns or the different fruits? Things like that. Well, you guys got to go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up like button, and share this video with your friends. You guys are awesome. Be safe. God bless, and we'll see you in the next episode.